Okay, welcome. So I'm going to show you how to launch and use the MARTA system model. So the first step in launching is to get into the directory that has all the class files and run main. That would be Java main. And this launches the mass transit system just like it did before at the command line interface. The other way to launch it is also with the passing in a text file. So just like before, you can pass in a simple text file that runs the entire simulation. So from the main, you can type in GUI, and that will launch the GUI for the system. And this is an introduction to the GUI. So there's three main buttons up top here. One is there's upload. You can upload a simulation. Just like running it from the command line, you can choose from here to run the simple test. So that would be on the desktop, simple test.txt, and you would just hit open and then save and run it. These two here are to create a simulation from scratch. So in this first one, there's three main categories. There's creational, operational, and reporting. So creational, we can add a stop, and this will give us information that we need to add the stop. So we could say our unique stop is 0, stop name, Appleville. We'll start with 10 riders by default, X coordinate and Y coordinate will start at 0, and we hit the save button down here. And so if we look at our terminal window that we used to start it, we can see that we now have created a new stop. So we can add another stop if we want. Appleville, Star City, 5 riders, X coordinate is 0.1, 0.5, save, and we can see that we have created a new stop here. So something new to the system now, we have roads, so we can add roads between these stops now. So within this creational tool, we can say add road, we can say add road, and this will ask us information about that road. So we can say from stop 0 to stop 1, the max speed on this road is about 25 miles per hour. Road condition from 0 to 10 is be 0. It's fine. We've created a new road, so there's now a new road with a 25 mile per hour speed limit between these two stops. We can also add delays to the road or remove delays to this road. So anytime during the simulation, we can type in the road ID, the delay ID. This is more of just an informational thing. We can bubble this up to the surface to say, oh, there is now a delay on this road, or we can send it live events during the simulation, say adding delays to specific roads and then removing those delays between roads. There's also rail classes now. So just like the bus, if we look at our classes here, we now have rail cars, rail routes, and rail stations. These behave very similar to the same, in fact, as bus stops. So now we can add a rail stop, give it a unique stop ID name. So this would be South Stop, sure. Start with 5 riders, X coordinates 0, 0, save. When we jump back here, we can see we've added a new rail stop. And these behave just like the buses. You can extend your routes, you can create new routes, add rail route. So this would be route 0, or that was the route unit ID. This is the actual route number, and then the route name would be South Route. And now we have a new route created. The next system we can show is riders. So we've actually added riders as well. So if we look at our actual classes here, we have rail system, and we have a rider class and a rider system class. The rider system class is the controller for the riders. So live during the simulation, you can add riders to bus stations, rail stations, bus cars, and this is how you control interaction between riders getting on and off of buses at rail stops. And you can also zero out buses and rails if you need to. So essentially you would just, let's say, add riders to a bus station. We'll choose station ID, and then we're going to give each rider their own unique ID number. So we 10, 11, 10, comma 11, 12, 13. So this is, each one of these is a different rider separated by commas. We hit save. And we've now added riders 10, 11, 12 to station 0. So now there are 4 riders sitting at the station waiting for a bus. So the random class that we implemented is called the fare system. And this controls the cost of riding on the simulation. So the user who is running the simulation can adjust the prices of both buses and classes, or buses and trains, in order to simulate how much money will be generated over the course of a simulation. And these are all built into the bus and train classes. So let's just start. Let's move into operational. So in operational, you can do step once or step multi, just like you can on the command line, and it'll take you through a simulation. I don't have the whole simulation loaded up here, so it won't show it just yet. And then reporting, you can get a report from here as well. So you just system report, and it'll print out all the information about the system at that current time. So it behaves much like the text interface. It just gives you a nice GUI on top of it where you can select things independently. So let's stop this simulation just for a second. And then we will run it with the text file just for simplicity's sake, so I don't have to enter in everything manually. So we run the simulation. This goes through 20 steps. It's added a bunch of rail stations, bus stations, and roads. And as you see the simulation going through, you can see the distance that between on the road, the average speed of that road, and the estimated time it will take for that bus to get to its location. These are all calculated by the road controllers. And then once we're done, we've got a system report. The simple test added some stops, but it didn't actually run anything on the stops for trains. But you can see here we collected $5 in bus money. It was pretty low because we only ran 20 events, so not many people got on and off. By default, everything was at $1, so we see here that 5 people got on and off the bus. And that is the entire simulation. Thank you very much.